Well, it's back to school time for thousands of Australian kids after the summer holidays. It's exciting for many, but families are being reminded to look out for signs of anxiety and stress as students return to the classroom. Joining me now is Tony Fitzgerald, Manager of Kids Helpline, for more on this. Thanks for your time. What's the main sort of culprit? I guess a lot of kids might be starting new schools, high school for the first time, and excitement on day one might be very different to the real experience. Are they the most common sort of calls for help you get?
Yeah, certainly, Tom. It's a time of change for kids across the country, whether they're entering, going from preschool or being home with mum and dad and going into prep for the first time, and or going from primary school into secondary school. Those key times of change and transitions can be very anxiety-provoking for our kids. So we're really putting the message out there today, to start the year off on a positive note and really be mindful of mental health and wellbeing of our children across the country.
In any sort of situation, sometimes you just want to get to the end of the year and hope the next year is a different one. For kids maybe being bullied at school, they got through last year and they start again and they think it might be different and the same old issues are popping up. That'd be a very confronting first day back, wouldn't it?
Yeah, certainly. And it's certainly something that we see at Kids Helpline. During the school holidays, particularly Christmas school holidays, there tends to be a bit of a drop in demand. But as soon as school comes back, some of those problems that students have faced in the previous year re-emerge and become issues and challenges again. So it's certainly something for parents and the community at large to be on the lookout for at this time of year. Those problems can certainly come back.
You mentioned kids leaving preschool and starting primary school. Are you getting calls from kids that young, already sort of feeling distressed and anxious?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, Kids Helpline is a service that provides support to children aged 5 to 25. So at this time of year, we can get calls from kids as young as 5, and a lot of the times that's on encouragement from parents and or teachers who might have heard of Kids Helpline through our Kids Helpline school program, which is supported by the Bupa Foundation. And we're in schools, we're running sessions, we're raising awareness of Kids Helpline, but also more importantly, raising awareness of help-seeking and positive help-seeking behaviours in children as young as 5, so that we can normalise that message for them and normalise the idea that, if they're not feeling okay about something, it's all right to reach out to someone for help.
And how does the helpline sort of, in generalities, understand you might not be able to say everything that happens, but if a kid that young is contacting Kids Helpline, presumably you ideally want to talk to the parents around why this kid's spoken out, albeit that it's a private assistance. How do you deal with that with a kid so young?
Well, a lot of the times we find with particularly the younger kids that their parents might call on their behalf because they're struggling to know what to do, and that's certainly something that we really encourage. But a lot of the time, young kids as young as 5 are really just calling up to speak to someone, a trusted adult, and we have qualified professional counsellors here who can support that young person through and that child through whatever it is they might be going through. But sometimes they can be really serious issues as well. And when we start talking about issues around particularly child abuse, we have to be really careful about how we handle that contact. But obviously, all the time we're wanting to ensure that parents are part of that conversation where appropriate, and certainly we support parents to encourage their child to not just call Kids Helpline, but maybe jump on the Kids Helpline website and have a look at some of the materials we've got there that might support them.
Yeah, a lot of kids, particularly when you get a little bit older, are very used to doing things on a computer or a phone in particular. So I know that's a more and more popular way to get in touch. Tony, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for your time, Tom. Appreciate it.